Now, I've got a very serious question for you. Have you put up your Christmas tree yet? Because there's some pressure growing within my house to do exactly that. But I have held firm thus far. I'll judge it on the comments and decide whether I should do it. But with Christmas coming up, just before it, we always have our Black Friday sales, and the ones for the Switch have already begun. We've got some ridiculous savings that aren't going to affect this guy because he won the free game last week. Nice one. Send me an email and I'll get that across to you. Well, it might still affect him, let's be honest. The backlog has a mind of its own. And yeah, save some money at SwitchUp.gg, where you get 5% in cashback, so you can save even more on these savings. What are the best games on sale this week? Well, my name is Mark Walker. Welcome back to SwitchUp. Now let's find out. Okay, originally the prices for many of these were just one or the other region, but that has changed over the last day or so I've redone the prices. Sometimes I might say this is only available in X region, but that was recorded before it was available in all regions, so just check the prices on the screen, they'll be the right ones. Let's kick off then with Operncia, the Stolen Sun, which is an old school dungeon crawling RPG that's down 70% at the moment. You've probably not heard of it before because it was, in my opinion, a little bit OP, as in overpriced, not overpowered. But at £8.09 or your regional equivalent until the end of the month, that's much more like it. It is an Unreal Engine experience, so you can expect it to perform better on the Switch too if you're going to play it over there. But you're creating your team of different characters and guiding them through the world, and it's centered around Central European mythology. So it has that mix of historic and, well, not historic, as I'm sure you'll see. But yeah, classic style dungeon crawler. Very good game, actually. It holds a Metacritic of 81%. It's not one we've reviewed on the channel before, but decent at that price. That's Operncia, the Stolen Sun, 70% off until the 30th of November in the...
I could do without the multitudes of menacing minions rising from the underworld lately. They're out to kill us all.
Next up, we've got the outstanding Kunitsu Gami Path of the Goddess on Nintendo Switch 2. This is 25% off, taking it to £24.74 or your regional equivalent. It's published by Capcom, and it's an unusual game actually. One of my favorites on Switch 2 that I had never heard of before. Essentially, it's got two elements. One of them is like a village sim, where you recruit in different villages to gradually build up your various towns, and the other is a real-time action game with some strategy elements. So a gate opens and enemies will flood in. You're trying to defeat them during the night time so that you can survive till the day. If you survive, you can then rescue villagers, give them tasks. So you might assign them as, say, an archer or a swordsman or a sumo, and even level those up as well. So there's that strategy, semi-tower defense style action going on where you can place them where you want in the stage, and then they help you to defend at the night time. All the while you're moving along this main character, who I think is called a spirit dancer, and they can only dance as much as you've got the resource to put into them, which you can only acquire by killing enemies. So you can see the loop, and when they reach the end of the stage they purge the evil, and then that area becomes a new village for you to upgrade. It's really addictive. I like this game a lot, so can definitely recommend it. 25% off, as I say, Nintendo Switch 2 release until the 30th of November. Next up, if you're in the US, you've got Capes. Now, this is from Daybreak Entertainment as the publisher, and we actually went out to Germany when this was in development to test it out. As a big TRPG fan and someone that does enjoy their superhero films, I did like the combination of those two elements. You build up your own team, recruiting new heroes. They obviously have different powers and abilities. They all play slightly differently, and then you have turn-based combat. I wouldn't say it's the best TRPG I've ever played, but it's certainly a decent one with its unique little gimmick/hook of having those superheroes, and I would say at half price is actually a decent little pickup. As I say, North American regions only though, that goes on until the 2nd of December. Then we've got No Kuni 2 Revenant Kingdom Prince's Edition, which is £7.99. It's 84% off till the end of the month. And if you're playing this on Switch 1, absolutely fine with a few performance dips here and there. But if you're playing Switch 2, it's one of those games that's uncapped, so it hits 60 FPS almost all of the time, and it's glorious. Now, on the one hand, you've got this real-time action combat, and then on the other you've got these strategic battles where you're actually commanding troops in an RTS style, which is really cool. I love the art style of this. I personally enjoyed it more than the first game. A really nice emotive story and a bit of that Studio Ghibli feel to it. Every time I say Studio Ghibli, it just sounds wrong. Jib. Should be Gib, shouldn't it? But it is actually Jib, or somewhere in between the two with the Japanese pronunciation. Ni no Kuni 2, $7.99, 84% off, an absolute bargain. Split Fiction is on sale in all regions. I remember hearing about this. I was saying to Glen the other day, actually, we did a sales video on Thursday, so if you missed that, loads of those are still live, and, well, I don't know if that's a good thing or not, but we were talking about Split Fiction and how when I saw it, I have to be honest, I just thought, how can that be getting so much acclaim? Like, some of the dialogue that I saw just seemed so generic, and I was like, nah, that's not going to be for me. And then we played it, obviously, because it was coming to the Switch 2, and I totally get it. It's absolutely massive, like a huge game where the idea is that the levels are created from the stories of the two main protagonists that they've written over their lives. But the thing is, those stories cover everything they've ever written. So sometimes you're in like something they made when they were a kid. There's one in particular where you're basically creating a fry-up. If you know what a fry-up is, it's like an English fried breakfast. So like your bacon, your eggs, your sausage. Oh man, I'm hungry. But you are those things. Like, it's weird, and I loved it. And I guess in that regard, it feels like the developers were just playing with ideas and then going, yeah. So 20% off until the 30th of November takes it down to £35.99. You might think that's a lot, but it's also a massive game, like absolutely huge. So Split Fiction, one to add if you're after something that you can play solo with an AI companion or with a friend. Or yeah, really enjoyed it. That sale goes on until the 30th of November. If you dream of waking up on a cart being taken to your execution, then you're not alone, because the Elder Scrolls Skyrim has been repeatedly forcing that dream on me for the last, how long's it been since this first came out? A long time. But it's £14.84 at the moment here in the UK, and probably some other places, in fairness. That's 67% off. And whatever you say about it, if you've not experienced it before, playing it on Switch or Switch 2 is a surprisingly good way of playing it. You're looking at 100 to 300 to however long you want to spend. A ridiculous amount of content here for the money that you're actually paying, and good content as well. You play as a Dragonborn. Now, the only thing to note is this isn't the anniversary edition, which includes all of like a bunch of the mods that were released as well as the base content and the DLCs. So this is just the base version, but it's going to keep you more than busy until you decide to upgrade to the anniversary edition, which gives you about another 200 hours of gameplay. Oof. As I say, 67% off, down to £14.84 until November the 30th.
We love to make games and worlds that you can get lost in, that you can make your own, and that you never want to put down.
30% off, and I think you get a little longer till like early December. And it's Bakeru, which I'm sure I'm pronouncing completely terribly, but it's a really fun game, and it runs at 60 on Switch 2 as well, so you get a bit of a performance bump. It's set in and around a fairy tale Japan and has a mixture of different gameplay modes. Some of it feels strangely like the Crash Bandicoot games, and then you've got mixtures of like some of the Mario titles, some really enjoyable boss fights. I was quite surprised by this one actually, but thoroughly enjoyable, and it's £24.49 with that 30% discount, or your regional equivalent. That goes on until, well, the end of the month for us, and a bit longer if you're in the North American regions.
Drum. Transform into Japanese fairy tale heroes like Momotaro and Kintaro, and use their special skills.
Now, if you didn't see, Tomb Raider, the Definitive Edition, has released on Nintendo Switch 1 and 2. It launches with a 10% discount, but if you own any of the collections, so 1 to 3 or 4 to 6, you can actually get an even bigger discount. So, its price at the moment here in the UK is £14.75 until November the 24th, and that is really reasonable. I think that is a good price point. I know there'll be people saying, yes, you can buy this for a couple of quid on other platforms. I know, but we're used to getting absolutely fleeced. And this isn't bad. It even includes a working online multiplayer. I was able to get a few games. So yeah, Tomb Raider Definitive Edition, a nice one to add to your collection. And if you've not played it before, go check out our full video review of both versions to decide if this is the place you want to do exactly that. Possibly my favorite in the Trails series so far on Switch is Trails Through Daybreak, which sees its biggest sale 40% off down to 32 quid or your regional equivalent. Now, I've got a full review, so I'm not going to go over it, but you essentially play as a bit of a detective. You run your little agency, people come from the town to try and get you to solve things, but then it branches out much further afield. But it has a nice combat system that's a mixture of real-time and turn-based, which we saw, I believe it was introduced in this game. I could be wrong there, but I'm pretty sure it was. And we've seen them do it since. And yeah, really a great game. It does have a second part, which I think just came out almost a bit too soon. Like it was almost like they were sitting on it, waiting to release it. But then loads of people hadn't actually rolled credits on this one. So yeah, I think two great games. Go check out this one. I think I potentially prefer it to the sequel, but still, well worth picking up. Let's finish then with 9 Souls, which is £13.74. It's 45% off, the cheapest it's been since it came out. Underrated, in my opinion, an underrated Metroidvania. It's funny because I'm not going to say this is better than Silk Song or anything like that, but it certainly has its charms and it does take the game or the genre in a few different directions. So it has its place within some of the best. I think things like the combat I really enjoyed, some of the bosses as well, but it was that mixture of Tau and technology in the story. They called it Tau Punk, which worked for me. There's a physical of this, which I got from PlayAsia, which there are incidentally links to down in the description. If you want to save 5%, stop selling stuff, Walker. Get on with the game. Yeah, that's 9 Souls. That sale in the EU regions goes on until the end of the month. The first of our Savaloy Selection, those ridiculously cheap games, well, that's a UK one, and it goes to the Red Strings Club. I love this game. Essentially, you're like a bartender within this cyberpunk world with a full storyline, and you're trying to please your customers as they come in by serving them the right drinks. But you can design implants to change the attitudes and directions of those coming in so that you can achieve your outcome. Pretty dark, really, but yeah, it's not a dark game. It's very well done. Our final Savaloy is Downwell, which is just £1.75 or your regional equivalent. And as the title suggests, you are quite literally making your way down further into the darkness. It's filled with different creatures. There are shops along the way. It has that arcade feel to it, and obviously is a slightly different adventure each and every time that you go down the well with unique weapons and items to find. A fun game and a very cheap price. So that is it for this week. As I say at the start, you can save a bit more money if you buy your eShop credit over at switchup.gg, where you get 5% in cashback. Thank you to our new member as well. Hopefully I've put your name at the end of this video, so thank you so much for your support. To all of you that enjoy the content and leave comments, for all things Switch, all the time, keep it Switch up. Cheers, guys. See ya!